Welcome back in. December 17th. We're gearing up for the new year. I hope everyone had a good week, and I hope your FPL teams performed the way you wanted them to. You are back on top. I'll throw it to you. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
feeling
good.
good?
Yeah.
Hat day for you. It's a big day.
Hat day for me.
It's a big day for you.
Vinicius won the best. Kind of a little childish move on his part to show up to the best awards and not the Ballon d'Oro.
He is kind of a child, so
you know when you're the best player in the world.
Well,
okay. No, he's not the best player in the world, dude. You know who that is?
Diallo.
That's correct.
Okay, Dave, how are you doing then? You
I'm
seem like you're doing pretty well.
Fantastic. I had a really good Sunday morning, if not surprising, with how most of that game went. But
yeah. Fun game to watch.
My team's misery ends. The other Manchester team's misery continues. So that's really all you can ask for. You know?
Yeah, I mean, does Pep have to call him dad or Amarin?
I think so. I mean,
is that does he have to do that?
I think at minimum he has to stay humble.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
You were cooking that one up for a while.
Yeah. How long you been waiting for that? For like 6 years.
No, that was a big win, and I think it goes to show that Pep has always been an overrated coach, especially in Barcelona.
I don't know about that one.
The refs aided them way too much for way too long, so it's good to see their downfall.
Yeah, this first rough spell in over half a decade. That overrated. That.
Yep.
Yeah, worst coach I've ever seen in my life.
Turtleneck wearing fraud.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Hit us with those transfers, man. Some good stuff happening this week. So, what do you got?
Yeah, so lots of stuff happening in the early week.
He's kissing the Siu.
Spit cleaning your Ronaldo.
Gotta kiss the Siu every time.
The GOAT.
So when I looked at the transfer movements so far, defenders are kind of a theme to me. And so I think it makes sense to start with a guy on my team who is the most transferred out player this week with like 500,000 people already is Rayan Ait-Nouri. And so obviously with the kerfuffle after that game ended.
If he was playing golf, he'd be doing pretty well.
Yeah, really glad I started him. But he did.
Good one, Sean.
Dad joke income.
He'd be 2 under par. So he did get a red card, so he's going to be suspended. And then we know that he's been rolling with those 4 yellow cards for a while. So whenever he does come back, he's probably going to get suspended again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
So myself, and I'm sure many others, judging by what I'm looking at, are trying to replace him. So I guess that begs the question, who should you replace him with? Thankfully, we kind of covered this topic in some detail last week. Milos Kerkez, Anthony Robinson is, I think, probably the most sensible option.
Another good week for him.
Yeah, another good week for him.
Unexpected good week.
He's been playing super well. You know, we know how much he gets down the left, gets balls into the box, 2 assists last week. So his creative numbers have been pretty good all year, and he's still underperforming his XFPL for the season by like 10 points. Fulham also have a pretty nice schedule coming up. They're getting through that tough run of fixtures they had, so he's probably my favorite one to replace him with.
I think a lot of that underperformance probably goes to the fact that he gets how many crosses a game. So, the expectation is if you have that many crosses, you should probably have more points. But at the end of the day, like, put a good ball in, it's not always his fault. So, that's one of those ones where, yes, it doesn't look good that he's under, but like I wouldn't fully judge it on that because it just means he's creating a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy you can really look at stats for, because I know we talked about it last episode about his attempted assists were really, really low. It was like 1 point, or expected assist was like 1.7, and he had 4. So it's almost like a guy you really have to do the eye test where, to your guys' point, you watch Fulham play and he's getting crosses in consistently, and that's what you kind of have to go off of. And on top of that, he is getting assists, even if they're not in favor of the expectation, I guess, or however you would say that. So
yeah, he's definitely like you said, if you watch him, it's kind of the same thing every time.
Yeah,
like he plays the same way every time. And that's over half of the Ait-Nouri transfer outs are to him. We talked about Lewis Hall a little bit last time too, and he's the fourth most transferred in player so far this week. Anthony Robinson, it's the second most.
Big week.
He had a really nice game. He's pretty much starting every week, playing 90 minutes. So also good creative numbers for him. He's a little bit cheaper than Rayan Ait-Nouri as well. If you have some extra cash, Gabriel, after being in the chop transfer outs for a few weeks, is back in our good graces.
Disgusting that people don't believe in that, man. Disgusting.
But yeah, if you have some extra money, him and William Saliba, pretty similar evaluation there. Good chance for shutouts. They're corner kick merchants, so you might get a goal out of it.
Yeah, it's true. Arsenal's good at it.
Levi Colwill, another good option that we talked about last week as well. So lots of options if you want to replace Rayan Ait-Nouri. Some other guys. Alexander Isak is one of the most transferred in players. He just keeps on scoring. He's probably the most informed forward right now in the Premier League, you'd have to say.
I would agree.
Along with your boy Nico Jackson, Phil. He's on
J.
this list too.
Did you guys see his stats compared to Salah since last year?
No.
He has one more non-penalty goal than Salah.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Combining last season and this one.
I mean, Chelsea's offense is unbelievable. It's a problem.
This goes to show you got to believe in that guy.
If you're Liverpool right now, Chelsea's a real problem. It's a real problem. No, I mean, they look...
It's a real problem.
Chelsea looks really good. Even the defense looks pretty good. The goalie looks good. Cucurella scored. That team looks really good right now.
I mean, they can't keep a clean sheet, even if...
I don't disagree with you. I just
though.
think their offense is so overpowering. I don't know if they need to keep clean sheets.
Yeah, even if Cuckoo scores.
Yeah, I'd say the planets are aligning.
Yeah.
He's scoring goals.
He didn't even know how to celebrate. He
Or
didn't
how
know
to
what
put on
do.
his own shoes.
He pulled a ran at the end of the game.
Jeez.
Some other guys. There's a few midfielders that are getting moved out. Brennan Johnson, Morgan Rogers, Emil Smith-Rowe. If you look, this is pretty much people moving to our two favorite and a lot of people's favorite budget midfielders, and that's Enzo and Amad Diallo. And we talked about them both pretty in depth last week. Another solid performance from Enzo. Mm-hmm. I don't think you guys need to listen to me rant about Amad Diallo anymore, unless you want.
No, let's rant about it because people are calling him the new Messi.
What people?
Intelligent
be
people.
Specific.
Sean.
Be specific about the people.
Me.
Okay.
But I was concerned initially, because he started out playing right wing back, that and they have Mazraoui and Diallo, but he started up front against City as part of that front three, and it obviously worked pretty well. So I think one way or another, if he's starting on the right or as right wing back, I think he's going to get into that team, and his performances. I mean, if that doesn't signal to Amorim that he's one of the first names on the sheet every time,
yeah, for sure.
So
should have got the PK. Should have let him take it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Man works that hard. Come on.
The entire United attack goes through.
He just doesn't know what to say.
I know. I was thinking about the PK again. The entire United attack goes through him and Fernandez.
Yeah.
And for their involvement, each of them are extremely cheap options. So.
Yeah. And those are probably they're still figuring out who their best lineup is, the other pieces of that attack, and kind of seems like Marcus Rashford's going to get transferred here, given what he said today in that interview. So they're going to have to figure out who they want to play on the left. Maybe if Garnacho stops telling the whole world who our lineup is 3 hours before the game.
Is that who ended up coming out as, or is that he just the main suspect?
It's if you go on the internet, it's pretty much it was. Some people are saying Diallo was part of it, but I don't know. Diallo didn't get benched for the City game, and Garnacho did. So
and Diallo scored, so
yeah.
He's
anyway. Other things in the transfer section, that's pretty much all the notable ones. Chris Wood's in there. He's not much to say there on him. But yeah, I think Erling Haaland is one of the most transferred out players. I don't think we need a lot of explanation on that one. He's been on that list for quite some time, but that's because his team is kind of a problem right now, Sean.
They're a real problem.
I mean, not a problem for me, but I think we kind of want to talk a little bit more about Man City and just exactly what the heck you want to do with them and their players.
Yerp, absolutely. We definitely need to talk about them. So before we jump into that, I mentioned it last week, but we've been talking about how we kind of want to go in a slightly different direction with this show, right?
Every few weeks we mix
it up.
Just our direction.
We're figuring it out, but here's the thing, right? We don't necessarily want to be the guys that walk in here with a bunch of stats and buy this player, sell this player, right? There are a lot of people on social media and YouTube that do that really, really well.
Worse than us, but
worse than us, but they do it really, really well. I'm sure you've seen them. We've watched them. We want to leave that to them. We're more interested in coming in here and giving you some of the stats, giving you some of the players, but I think we want to have more of like a free flow type of conversation, right? If our conversation goes off on another path away from FPL for a second, like we're okay with that. We don't need to stay strictly to that, and we're going to try and go that route. We want this to feel really natural. So that being said, everyone out there who's watching,
what's going on?
If you leave a comment and let us know, what do you think we're doing right? What do you think we're doing wrong? If there's a certain way that you've watched videos that you feel is the best way to get the information, drop those comments. Let us know. We really want feedback. We want to develop something that has people excited to watch us every week and come back and get the information, the banter, the stats, the conversations.
Have fun with us while also getting some info if you don't have time to, watch the games go through. Who's hurt, who might be a good asset for your team. So just a win-win-win.
Yeah, we're going to take extra time to get that stuff out there, the stuff that everyone can't do. So, yeah, we want you to listen, but that's my whole spiel. So we'll get rolling, and we'll see how it kind of...
That was a good spiel.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see how it kind of goes this time. We'll see how it feels.
Echo.
Yeah, we're in an enclosed space. What did you expect? So, with that all being said, back to Dave's comment, Man City... Let's talk about it. I want to do kind of a Man City look from FPL and also kind of just like an in general, how do they look outside of FPL. So I want to start with a game. Play Who Would You Rather, not in a weird way, you freaks, because I know what's coming.
Marry, kiss, or kill.
Who would you rather? Basically,
I'd definitely kiss Foden. Just throwing that out.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Foden, I know you're watching, so if you need his number, just drop it in the comments. We'll get it to you. So I'm going to name players, and I just want you guys to say, yes, I'd rather have that player than who I have in that position, or no, I don't. If you already have the player, just don't answer the question. Pretty straightforward.
I was just thinking about what if this gets clipped and Foden sees it and it would go viral. That'd be so embarrassing.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd take it.
Anyway, sorry. Could you explain it again?
I'm going to name a player. All you have to do is say, yes, I would want that player on my team instead of who you have there.
Yeah.
Or no, you wouldn't want that player instead of who you have. If you already have the player, just don't answer the question.
For FPL?
For FPL, okay. Yes. Your actual team right now.
I understand.
Compare it to your team.
I did. I thought you meant real life. I was like, we won't have any of the players on Madrid because they're on
All right.
City.
So first player. And remember, price plays a role in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Haaland, 14.9 million. So, like, example, you have him. Don't answer the question. Would you want Haaland on your team for 14.9 over who you have?
No. And I have Cunha, who I'm going to get rid of, but yeah.
Ederson, 5.4 million.
No, I don't see the point in that.
No.
Over Martinez or Sells. Nah.
Foden for 9.1 million.
I just said I would kiss him, but no.
Yeah, no.
Kyle Walker at 5.2.
No, that's way too expensive compared to, the horde of defenders.
Don't think about it too hard either. It's kind of just a yes or a no. Would you want them instead of your
suck right now?
No, there's too many defenders.
I'm getting to the point, right?
4.5 to 4.8 that are better.
We'll go through another. We'll go through one more here. Bernardo at 6.3.
No.
Okay.
No.
So what about Gavardiol at 6.1?
Yeah, I mean, if you can fit him in.
You say no. You say yes. I think that's fair. I think he's doing pretty well, right?
Well, I just don't know why you would take him over the two Arsenal guys at the same price.
It's your team, though. Remember, it's your team. Rico Lewis, last one, 4.6 million. Yes or no? If you have him, don't answer the question.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Probably. He's about the same as who I have. Mazraoui, Digne.
So point being is, right, we did all that just to go through to show that no one on City anybody wants, right? They came into this season super high. Everyone wanted their players. The only people that you actually said yes to was a defender, right? Gavardiol, the only one that he said yes to. Rico Lewis, the only reason you would say yes is price tag, plus he plays kind of in a midfield role as a defender, right? So question is, what has happened to this team? They look lost. Pep doesn't look like he has figured anything out. Haaland continues to look bad. And my question to you guys, to open the floor, is it just a slump? Is it going to require a big roster move? Or is it going to require Pep to change the tactics? Because for me, it feels like the end of the season, they're going to be fighting for 5th, 6th, maybe 4th. That's what it feels like at the moment. So what do you guys think? Is it solvable? Is it going to get solved? When I watched them, it didn't look good.
No. I have 2 thoughts, but I'll let you go first. Dave.
No, have at it.
No.
All right.
Go for it.
I mean, it's solvable. Like, will they solve it? I think we said, like, back when they had lost, like, 3 games in a row. We were like, yeah, they're going to figure this out. He's too good of a coach. The roster's too good. And we're 7, 8, 9 games later now, and it's still crap.
They're in, 5th place, I think.
They look worse now than they did when they were losing those games. Because they were missing a lot of chances in those games. Now they're just not creating.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. Like, even in the past when they would lose games and maybe they lose a couple in a row, like, they were still creating chances, had all the possession.
I heard that clicking. I knew that was going to go. That's a bad sign, everyone. Legend of the Sioux goes down. It stays down for this one.
Yeah.
Phil's in so much pain.
All right.
That hurt.
But anyway, they don't like, they're not creating chances seemingly at will like they did before.
Yeah.
Like, Haaland is kind of the epitome of it. It's like he gets like 1 or 2 good chances a game instead of 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also don't think they're not getting a lot from their wide players at the moment. Like Grealish, Doku, Nunez, like if Bernardo Silva's out there, they don't seem anywhere near as dangerous as they have been in the past. And I don't think they're playing wildly different, like in terms of their style, but they just don't have like the juice going forward at the moment. What do you think, Philip?
I was waiting for you to end. So almost
you got to read his mind, man.
I got to read his mind, but so just to touch on the wide players real quick. I feel, just watching them the last 3-4 games, feel like they're all trying to do it on their own. Mm-hmm. Where Haaland's been, and we've said this before, Haaland's been the most successful when as soon as that wide player gets the ball, he makes that darting run, that ball gets played in, and he's catching the defenders coming out, and he's going, like he's so good at timing those runs, and you saw the success with De Bruyne over the last few years. You look at Doku, you look at Grealish, you look at Savio, and they're all just like extra touches on the ball, extra touches on the ball, extra touches on the ball. Haaland's already made his run, and then when they're ready to cross the ball, Haaland's already passed that like piercing run that gets him open. So it's like, I just don't see them in sync, and it goes from the back line to the midfield to up top where they're not in sync. No one's in form, so when they do get near the box, no one is inspired to do anything good. And I don't think it's solvable with this team, to be honest. The only way I can see City being successful really is either all the players need to buy into what they used to do. Like, it's no one's should shine on their own. They're a team. They've always played as a team. Everyone scores. Everyone gets assists. Everyone adds to the team. Or if not, they need to sell De Bruyne. They need to sell Silva. They need to, the backline Stones. Like, they need to do a big reform of this team, because I just think they won so much and they won so easily over all these years that De Bruyne looks uninspired out there. It doesn't look like he's putting that much effort into it, to be honest.
I do think there's some tension there. I feel like he wants to play 90 and he keeps getting pulled off, and I think it shows that he's getting annoyed. To your point, I think you can see it in his play. Yeah,
but
I agree.
You even seen in corners, against United, every single corner was a short corner. Everyone in the world knows that short corners aren't as effective as just putting the ball in the box. And they keep doing it. They got an assist off of it, super lucky, but it came off of a deflection. It shouldn't have never even been a goal. They just look like they have no idea of how to do anything right now.
I think, to your point, depending on how this season plays out, we shall see. There may be some large changes to that team, coaching-wise, player-wise. I can't imagine, even one bad season, I don't know. A team like Man City strikes me as a team that's going to be like, we got to change it all now. They have the money to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of changes in the offseason. Again, if they don't get back at least into a top 3 position to end the season.
And their players are older now.
I mean, imagine if they miss Champions League. Like, that's going to be a massive hit to that organization. They expect it.
Yeah.
Every season. So we'll see. We'll see.
They don't, like you said, like they don't have a lot of ideas going forward. And like in the past, when we would see teams like lots of teams sit in deep against them and play defense.
Yeah.
We would see them like move the ball and finally solve teams pretty much all the time. And they just don't like have a plan B now. Like their teams are sitting in against them. Like, I mean, United did it for a decent portion of this last game, and it's like they don't have a plan B to break teams down. And like, is some of that like fatigue or just the general malaise since they've played so many matches? Like, they don't have Julian Alvarez anymore, which was kind of another plan B they always had. It's just pretty much
completely different player than Haaland, and it can like. And
there's no other way for them to play. They're going to keep playing the same way with Haaland and no other forward option. So I just think they're in a rut, and it's definitely a combination of things. Obviously, the Rodri thing. So
that I think. I got just 2 more minutes on that. I think the Rodri thing made sense at the beginning, but now it's way deeper than Rodri. Like,
absolutely,
one player. There's just no way.
I've seen Barca perform without Messi or Iniesta,
just no way.
Still crush Madrid.
Yeah.
Like
they don't have somebody that plays that role, but they've got Gundogan, Kovacic. They've got plenty of really good players. They should be able to figure it out.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say, and that I've noticed this year, especially since Rodri's injury, but really this year, is when's the last time you've seen one of their Walker, Gabriel, whoever, left back or right back to an overlapping run?
They don't. They just really don't. That's
because Doku, Grealish, Savio are the ones who are trying to get to the end line, and then you just keep it on a one-on-one with a help, and it just like congests everything. They used to be so good when Bernardo Silva cuts in, gives the ball to De Bruyne, and then the overlapping run comes. The defenders are stepping out, chips the ball over to the right back, and then all of a sudden it's just a cross and a goal. Like, they don't have that anymore.
That's where De Bruyne shines, is hitting those balls that 99% of players in the world can't hit.
Yeah.
But if you're not making those crazy runs, then he's just another player.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just so static. But anyway.
Yeah.
They're shit. All right.
So
let's move on.
So, yeah, no, I mean, so now we'll roll it into the FPL piece, right? And I haven't talked enough already, so I'll just keep going. It's no problem. So when you look at their ownership numbers, no one has gone up in ownership. I think we all know that, right? Haaland's dropped down to 38% owned. Gvardiol's dropped down to like 20% owned, and then Rico Lewis dropped down to like 10% owned, right? There is one player on this roster right now that is just slightly gone up in ownership, and that is De Bruyne. That is the guy we're here to discuss. So we've said it, or I've said it for multiple weeks. Midfielders are tough to find right now. And what I mean by that is there was 4, I'll say 3.5 that everyone really likes. Salah, Palmer, no-brainers, then Mbumo, who continues to produce, and then at a half, probably Saka, because we know the talent, we know the team. After that, it's a massive drop-off for sustained points week to week. There's not a lot of guys that are going to get you points each and every week, right? You might have a good week, 2 bad ones. A good week, 1 bad one, right? I think De Bruyne, we know the potential he has. I think he can, again, be that guy. But what's holding everyone back, my assumption would be price. 9.5 million is a hefty price. And 2, he still has not played a 90-minute game. So, you can't cost that much money and also not play 90 minutes. I tried my hardest to dig in and find info on whether that is because Pep's trying to get him back into form, or if it's a tactical thing. He's an older player now, so I'm thinking it's getting him in the shape. I don't know if anyone has a feeling on that versus tactical, but I'm assuming it's getting him in the shape. And that's kind of where I'm taking a chance here. But, I mean, go ahead. What do you think?
I think it's definitely some of that. I mean, he's only started the last 3 games. Before that, he played like 10 minutes or something.
11 minutes against Liverpool, yeah.
Each of the couple games before that. I think some of it is tactical, or just like, as we just got done saying, whatever they're doing attacking wise just isn't working.
Isn't working.
So like he's just making subs to try and spark them, find a different combination. I'd be more. He definitely feels like a differential pick, but like you said, he's $9.5 million, and that's kind of hard to be a differential. It'd be a really good one if it works. It's just a pretty big leap to take right now when they look like crap.
Listen to this, though, right? So,
Fine.
last 3 games, 14 points, 2 points, 6 points,
Should have been 2 points.
Without getting 90 minutes for any of those games. I think he looks fairly dangerous for just coming back. You guys tend to disagree. I think he looks like probably one of the most dangerous players in the team, obviously outside of their 9. I think the offense is going to start picking it up. And when we start to look at his numbers, he has 25 attempted assists, which puts him at fairly high up the list of midfielders. That ties him with Eze and Matoma. But De Bruyne has played only 10 games, only 628 minutes. So every 25 minutes of a game, he's getting an attempted assist. He's getting 3.5 a game. And let's be honest, if his, what we believe to be world-class, one of the best on earth strikers, can find a way to start finishing some of these chances, that's going to be a win-win for both of them. Because 3.5 opportunity assists a game, man.
Yeah.
If Haaland could put some of those away, I just think all the opportunity is right there, and he still isn't playing 90 minutes. So I have him on my team. I think he's going to get back to 90 minutes. And the other piece is their schedule is so friendly coming up. Yeah. I don't know if you guys look. They get Aston Villa away, Everton home, Leicester away, West Ham home, Brentford away, Ipswich away.
Yeah.
That's a really good schedule for a team that is really struggling and desperate. So I'm putting some big weight into this guy connecting with your guy and producing these next 6 weeks.
I know if De Bruyne gets assists, it's going to be to Haaland.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm all about that.
If he didn't have Haaland, I would say, okay, I'm not believing in this guy. He has Haaland, and you just can't not believe in that guy to get some freaking goals here soon.
I think the only thing you can say about him, besides the minutes, which I think will grow as he gets back into shape, he's not on PKs, which we've seen be a big difference amongst players. Those go to Mr. Erling. So that's the only hesitation at that price. You like Bruno Fernandez, why I think he's still such a good price is he's on all set pieces. Mm-hmm. So his chances of getting that return are just so much higher. So I don't disagree. I think he goes hand in hand with Haaland. It's like both are risk. You expect them to do better. Will they do better? It's hard to believe that they won't do better, right? So
I'm believing they will.
You're taking a risk. You're picking the best creator on that team. I'm picking the best forward on that team. Probably would be hard to take both right now.
Yeah, definitely don't take both. But that's who I got.
The creative numbers are good the last 3 weeks. He's third in expected assists among midfielders.
Telling you, man. His assists are there.
Granted, his expected assist was inflated by a ricochet, so
great ricochet,
kind of BS.
A perfect ricochet.
I'm more wait and see. I'm definitely monitoring him because if they get right or he does, like we said, that's a pretty good differential pick.
Yeah,
but I'm not quite there yet, like you are. But
that's fair.
I respect your stance.
All right. Well,
sort of.
We respect you, Sean.
You respect my stance.
You're smart and handsome.
Why don't you take it next then? Oh, you could take it next, actually. I'm handsome. Phil goes next.
Woohoo!
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Suck it.
I don't think I have any standout player to talk about that we haven't talked about last week, especially with Robinson and Ahmad. I do think Fulham now's the time. I mean, should have been last week. There was some back and forth because they were playing Liverpool. I think if Robertson doesn't get that red card, no one would have. Robinson probably wouldn't have gotten 6 points. Fulham would have been a risk against Liverpool away. But we talked about this week. This is the week to start having Fulham players, whether it's Robinson, Iwobi's the one. Back to Raul Jimenez. Although I think he's starting to share more minutes with Muniz. But I think Fulham is a key team to target for the next stretch. You can get one of those guys and literally just let them sit on your team, whether it works out or not. Obviously, time will tell. But stats, fixture difficulty, all that is in your favor with those guys, and they're all pretty cheap prices, so they're not hard guys to squeeze in your team and even potentially open up space for. improving another position.
It's a top-tier schedule.
Yep.
Yeah.
Southampton at home next
Southampton. So they have Southampton, then Chelsea, and then...
Can you do it? How many can you get?
I'm going to get them mixed up. I know they have Southampton, Chelsea. They probably have Ipswich in there. Bournemouth. Was it Brentford or Everton or Leicester?
Leicester.
They
got South.
You had the first four right.
Yeah.
Southampton, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Ipswich, West Ham, Leicester.
Yeah.
So that's a friendly schedule.
I especially like Raul Jimenez as a replacement for Matheus Cunha.
Yeah.
Since he was also involved in the shenanigans after that game. So yeah, and Jimenez is much cheaper than Cunha. Muniz pretty much comes in for him every game, like around the 70th minute.
Yeah.
So you have to like accept that risk when you take him, but he's only $5.5 million.
It's pretty good for a 9.
And so he's one of the guys I'm looking at since I have Cunha and probably am about to drop him. Wolves' schedule also turns pretty sour here after this next game.
Yeah.
If I know you guys don't have Cunha like me.
Yeah.
I think the obvious answer is like who should people replace Cunha with? Is like if you don't have Isak or Nico Jackson and you have the money, like I think that's a pretty obvious answer, right?
Yeah. I think if you obviously those are the more expensive ones, and if you can afford them, I'm just repeating what you said. What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, it deserves repeating.
Wood or Lisa.
I'm going with Wood.
Are two that I would target.
Mm-hmm. Brentford, Spurs, Everton, Wolves is Forest next games. It's not too shabby.
No.
Not too shabby.
Then you get into more of the budget ones. Raul Jimenez.
Yeah.
Evan Nilsson's up to $6 million, I think. So he's not necessarily cheap.
I have two other ones. Definitely agree on Wood. He's like, I think I said earlier, he's like feels like the safest option. He's just been so consistent. Same with Wisa since he came back from injury. Their schedule, if I'm not mistaken, gets pretty nasty as well here.
It does. That's why everyone was moving off of Mbumo in preparation.
There's two other names that I had in my mind.
Surprise us, mister. David, what are the names?
I don't even know.
Jean-Philippe Mateta is one of them.
He's expensive, right?
He's 7.2, so a few extra. What Cunha's 7.1, right?
Cunha's 7.1 now.
Yeah, I mean
he was still 6'9".
He's 6.8 on my team, but I think he's 7.1 overall.
Yeah.
Mateta for me is someone I've seen people bring up. He has Chelsea and Arsenal 2 of the next 4, but this one like. Crystal Palace has looked a little bit more stable in terms of like who they're picking. Like they have Sarr, who's another guy. Like Sarr and Eze are playing behind Mateta, and I think they've just started to like just look a little bit better because they were pretty volatile with who they were playing at the start of the year, and they were kind of tough to get a read on. But over the last 8 weeks, so just the second half of the games we've played so far, he's top 5 in expected goals. He has 8 big chances over that time frame, which is better than your boy Nico Jackson. So just some reference
Nico
there.
didn't play a game.
Okay.
No. I've had my eye on.
He's definitely a differential pick. I probably like a couple of the options we've said better than him, but it's definitely somebody I want to monitor. And there is a point in the schedule. I don't want to get this wrong. So they do play Arsenal and Bournemouth, but after that, so they have Arsenal and Chelsea 2 the next 4. But then it's Southampton, Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, United. Yep. Like they pretty much don't have a concern until you get to like April in their schedule. So he's somebody I'm going to have my eye on because I'm always looking to differentiate myself, especially from you guys.
How's that going for
I
you?
was just going to say it.
Look, it was a rough week. I'm not going to lie.
It's okay.
But I'm also keeping my eye on Kai Havertz because I had him at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned about Gabriel Jesus. I like that Odegaard's back. I do wonder if they're going to buy a forward in January. Well, that obviously probably won't happen for another month. So I'm considering him as well.
Yeah, Kai's tough.
I think I'm leaning towards Raul Jimenez or Chris Wood. But we'll see.
All right, cool. I got a guy I want to talk about too. Quick one.
We'll allow it.
A little quickie?
Yeah. I mean, we on this show, we talk about it all the time. we want to make sure that everyone knows not to overreact, right? FPL, fantasy sports in general, are so reactionary. So Dave brought a guy up last week, gave us a fun trivia question. It was Ashley Young. I forget exactly what the question was. Do you remember?
Oh, it was who's the highest scoring defender in FPL since, I believe it was Gameweek 4.
That was it. And that answer is Ashley Young for
far
anyone,
and away number one.
For anyone who didn't see it. So I'm kind of surprised that I really didn't see much on socials. I didn't see really much on YouTube about him.
Check Fireside Twitter, you would have seen something about him.
And he had another 5-point performance and another shutout. Now I'm okay that I didn't see him. I'm just surprised that I didn't. But he's been transferred in by around 70,000 teams, and his ownership has over doubled in the last couple weeks from 1.4% to 3.5%. Not going to be surprised if that just continues to climb going into this next week. But like I said, we do our best to not react here. I want to make sure that everyone else knows not to react. He has the 4th highest points and a very low price tag. 4th highest points for defenders and a very low price tag. That looks pretty nice on the surface. Dig a little deeper. You'll see that his expected assists per game are 0.12, which is 15th amongst all defenders. And his expected goals per game is 0.01, which is basically at the bottom. So, all I want to say is don't be fooled by the high points, because a lot of that's due to recency bias. Over half of his points have come in his last 5 games.
Yeah.
He has 33 points out of his 62 in his last 5 games. In that same period, Everton has 4 shutouts in 5 games, which is wild. One of those games, Brentford had a red card. And they also had a postponed Liverpool game, which we all know probably would not have been a shutout. At this point, if you're picking him up, you're banking on shutouts from Everton. I think Everton's better than we thought they were, but I'm not banking on an Everton shutout with my defenders personally.
We're going to say the same thing, Dave, I think. Yeah.
Are you doing it?
6 of their last 9 games are clean sheets.
No, I was going to go the opposite.
I'm very much aware.
To everyone transferring him in, they have Chelsea, City, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Tottenham.
It's a terrible schedule.
There's no way
so
they get clean sheets.
My point is,
they just blanked Arsenal.
My point is,
that's a good point.
If you want them,
good point.
Listen, if you want them for the price, fine. If you want them for that price, fine.
Yeah.
I am not putting that man on my team because I'm afraid that, they just had, what would you say, 6 out of 7 shutouts?
6 out of 9.
Yeah, they may not have a shutout for the next 9. So, did you pick him up? Because I know you talked about him.
No, he's in that blob of 4.5 to 4.8,
right,
where there's a bunch of guys that...
Yeah. So just, fair warning to everyone out there. Hey, do what you feel is right, but as a reactionary thing, I don't think that's a smart move. I don't believe in Everton's defense to be a top-tier defense. That's just me. But we'll see what happens.
Hey,
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm reactionary is not the way to go. Because once you use a transfer, now you're stuck with them. Now you got to wait to get another transfer.
Is that how that works?
To get them out. Just saying. You bring that guy in.
Kidding,
I know you are. So that's it. That's what I wanted to say. That's fine, Dave.
No,
you're allowed to disagree.
Everton's the best defensive team in the league.
That's weird. That's weird because you didn't pick him up. How weird is that? You don't really believe in him, do you?
Maybe I'll...
I think this is...
Maybe I will.
This is why you come here, for the banter, and because so many people are probably looking at Ashley Young's recent numbers and are like, oh, let me get him on my team. Those 70K people probably don't realize that they have one of the hardest schedules coming up.
And they had a shutout in a red card game, and they didn't play Liverpool.
But Dave did say they just blanked Arsenal.
They did blank Arsenal.
Maybe it's a miracle run. I
didn't watch the game. I mean, was it a park the bus moment? I didn't watch it.
I'm pretty sure that there's like 4 or 5 clear chances. That
Arsenal had some chances.
Okay.
Pickford played a really nice game.
Okey-doke.
I didn't watch the game.
Got it.
But
all right, that's all I had. You guys, any other topics you wanted to go for?
I had one more player, but
go for it,
Dave.
Well, who's your one more player?
It's kind of what Sean talked about last week with Enzo. I think everyone was questioning, okay, he's had a couple games, some assists that, like, the expected goals off of that assist isn't that high, but looking at his price at $5 million, don't pat yourself on the back too much, Sean. Like Semenyo at 5.6, he's injured, he hasn't returned except a clean sheet this last week.
I told you, Dave.
Point. But him, Mitoma, even, you can save a lot of money picking up someone like Enzo, who since he's been in the squad for Chelsea, they've looked like a completely different team. And Palmer has even dropped back more and ends on him almost play as a pair and drop back and go forward as a pair. So he's getting in those positions. I think he takes the long set pieces for them too. Does he take the corners on the left side and Palmer on the other side, like the inverted corner?
I'm not positive about that.
But he is involved in the set pieces, obviously not on PKs. So for $5 million, and I did this for my team, but getting him that is playing pretty sure the 90 minutes, all these games, he's getting close to the box. We're talking about Chelsea as the strongest offense right now. He just seems like a steal for the near future, and it definitely, again, opens up funds where you can pick up maybe a stud or a star player, just improve a position. So super, super high on Enzo as that kind of same as Ahmad Diallo. Yeah. They're those players that are going to give you a lot actually for their price tag right now, and it also gives you the financial freedom to get another guy on your team that maybe you didn't have room for before.
Yep. Anyone else for you, Dave?
I'll just do this because I did briefly mention his name earlier talking about Mateta, and that's his teammate, Ismaila Sarr.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, Palace have started to play a little bit better. He did have 2 goals and an assist against Brighton. And so, he wasn't starting consistently until I think it was game week 9. And he's got 3 goals and 2 assists since then. Since he started starting consistently, he's in the top 7 in both expected goals and assists, 5 big chances, 18 shots from inside the box, 4 big chances created. So he's kind of doing a little bit of everything, and that fits with the position he's playing in, right? So I like that. He's not heavily owned. Let me just confirm his ownership. I think
he's
it's
owned by less than 1%.
Yeah. So
it was 0.3%.
It's 0.5.
Yeah.
So he's another, again, a lot of differential options we talk about. He's 5.7 million. I do have one area of concern, and which is why I think he's still a monitor for me, sort of like Mateta, is it's the same thing I say about Madueke, is that his big point totals, he's had 3 huge games, and then he gets 2 points every other game.
Yep.
That's pretty much the same story with Sarr. He had a big game in week 12. He had 13 and then 17 points against Brighton. So, I'm okay with that because, again, he just started becoming a regular in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
So him and Mateta are both Palace guys that I definitely want to keep an eye on.
I love that, Dave. That's
a good one.
That's an amazing segue for a little section that we're going to try out today called Dog of the Week. Dog of the Week. This is our dog, Maguire, named after Harry Maguire, the biggest underdog ever. Yes. Don't ask us why we think he's an underdog. He just
Harry
is.
Maguire!
We love you, Harry.
This week, I'm coming in with the underdog of the week, Sarr. Who let the Sarrs out? Who let the Sarrs out?
I believe that was Crystal Palace.
Man, that was good, but please don't copyright me. It wasn't that good. But like Dave said, Sarr, he came into this game with 1 goal and 2 assists on the entire season, and he left that game with 2 more goals and 1 more assist, and that was a huge win for them against a pretty good team. So, Listen, Sarr, dog of the week. You were the underdog, came out of nowhere. Congrats to you. I know you're watching, so good work, buddy. All right. And, we'll just end it off with how we finished this week. So, Phil, you want to – Phil, let us know how we finished this week.
Whoa.
What?
Are we talking about our teams?
No. We're moving on from that.
No. You mean the table, how we finished this week?
Yeah, how we finished with the table.
Yeah. Well, I came in first.
Yeah.
I got 49 points. Then we had Mr. Feely, Sean Feely there with 45. And then the differential pick guy, Dave, with 38. That puts me back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's in second.
Yep.
Very close behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dave is nowhere to be seen.
Dave's in the rear view mirror.
But don't worry. He's going to give you some differential picks.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Should I just sit under the table for this last segment?
So that's hilarious.
If you look at my team, it's not all differential picks.
No,
Let's
I'm
just
kidding.
Be very clear about that.
Dave did get screwed by Mr. Aitnori with -2. That's never. And Johnson didn't play.
That was a tough look for you.
He came in at halftime, but he still put up a goose egg. So
Sucks.
wonderful.
All right. So I think.
Wait, how did he put up a goose egg playing? Oh, he got a yellow card.
Oh yeah. Phil's just seeing the misery now. He's just now experiencing Dave's misery.
I just realized, why didn't they? Yeah, okay. Damn, that's dude.
That's hilarious. It's okay, Dave. You'll get
whatever.
there.
It's whatever.
You just need one. Have you used your triple captain yet?
I haven't used my triple captain.
One triple captain on the guy that drops 15
Nor have I
points.
used my free hit like you guys. So
You'll be right back in.
No,
I've got ammo.
No one's
You've
used
got
a
ammo.
bench boost anyway, by the way. The team
no.
that was the team of the week this week, I was looking at, and I was like, how in the heck is this adding up to 114? They bench boosted, got like an extra 20 off the bench. So good for them.
Yeah, you always wonder if you do it on a wild card week, like you know.
Can't.
No.
You can only do one chip.
Oh,
week.
you can.
It's
Well,
also a total guess. You're literally guessing.
It
well,
is
no,
a,
yeah,
it
you
is
do-
a wild card week.
you
It's
wild
tough.
card, and then the next week you bench boost.
All right.
That is a fair tactic.
Yeah,
Set
your
yourself
team
up for it.
Keep that
Look
to
at you,
yourself.
Phil.
Keep that one to yourself. Keep it
sharing with the world. I want you
All
guys
right.
to beat your friends in this game too.
All right. So with all of that being said, if anyone out there, we said it last week, but if you have any sweet ideas on how to spice this desk up, maybe a better sign, let us know in the comments of the video. Give us some ideas of a way to make this backdrop look cool. Like, we're trying to figure it out, but we're not that creative. So
Yeah.
help us out.
We need to get a little something that gives them our current standings and
No,
know what I'm saying?
we don't need that. We don't.
Oh, we
Gameweek
absolutely need
We don't
that.
need to clog up the area.
we absolutely need it.
We do.
So make sure if you're watching the video, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. We really appreciate it. It's free. It'll really help us out with this. You can listen to us anywhere you find podcasts, and we'll be back here.
Check our socials. Fireside
Same time
FPL,
next
baby.
week. Yep, socials, Fireside FPL, Instagram and Twitter. We'll be back here next week. Looking back at game week 17. Looking forward to game week 18. Good luck out there, everyone. And with that, suspense. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.